They hurt you. They ghosted you, betrayed your trust, walked away like you meant nothing. And they expected you to chase, to beg, to lose your mind trying to get them back. But you didn't. You chose silence. And that's what's eating them alive. Because nothing haunts the guilty more than your complete indifference. Silence isn't weakness. It's the loudest scream they'll ever hear. This is why walking away without a word is the most powerful revenge. Why does silence cut deeper than anger? Why does ignoring someone shake them more than screaming ever could? In a world addicted to attention, your silence becomes a mirror, forcing them to confront themselves. Most people react, but the ones who don't, they hold all the power. Today, we're diving into why silence is the ultimate revenge through the lens of ancient Stoic philosophy, modern psychology, and the brutal truth about human ego. If you've ever been ghosted, betrayed, or left behind, this will flip the script, because sometimes the most savage thing you can do is nothing at all. The ancient Stoics, Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca, they all taught one thing: control what you can, let go of what you can't. And the one thing you always control is your reaction. Stoicism isn't about being cold. It's about being unshakable. When someone disrespects you or tries to provoke you, the Stoic doesn't lash out. He doesn't argue. He simply chooses silence. Because silence isn't the absence of emotion. It's the presence of mastery. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The best revenge is to be unlike the one who did you wrong." Let that sink in. Not fighting back. Not explaining yourself. Just existing above their level. When you stay silent, you stop playing their game. You remove yourself from their chaos. You become untouchable. That's why silence destroys them. Because it shows you're not emotionally dependent. You're not trying to prove anything. You're not giving them access to your peace. Epictetus taught that what others do is not your concern. Your only job is to respond with wisdom and self-restraint. That's what silence is. It's discipline. It's dignity. It's strength. In today's world, where everyone overshares, reacts instantly, and craves attention, silence is rebellion. Silence is control. Silence is power. So the next time they try to trigger you, don't take the bait. Remember the Stoics. And let your silence speak louder than words ever could. Humans crave certainty. In relationships, we seek patterns, predictability, and control. When you suddenly go silent, no closure, no reaction, no drama, you break that pattern. And psychologically, it destroys them. Why? Because silence creates a vacuum. And the human brain hates empty space. It starts asking, did I mess up? Why aren't they reacting? Are they over me? Or worse, did I never matter? This mental loop is called a feedback gap, when someone expects a response but gets nothing. That gap triggers anxiety, obsession, even regret, especially if they were the one who walked away. In dating, we're wired to chase what's pulling away. Silence is perceived as power. It suggests you're fine without them. And nothing crushes ego more than being ignored. Think about it. If you beg, cry, or rant, they know they still have emotional power over you. But if you stay silent, they start to question their own worth. They scroll through old messages, reread what you said, stalk your socials. Why? Because you didn't give them the satisfaction of a meltdown. And here's the twist. They might not miss you. They miss the version of themselves who felt wanted, admired, needed. Silence takes that away. In a world screaming for attention, silence is a psychological mind game. It makes them think. It makes them chase. And if they've lost you, it makes them suffer. You want revenge? Don't scream. Don't expose them. Don't write long texts or post emotional quotes. Just go quiet. Because silence doesn't just hurt them. It unravels them. Here's why. It starved their ego. Most people want a reaction, even if it's anger, because a reaction means they still matter. But when you give them silence, you take away their oxygen. You deny them relevance. And nothing suffocates the ego faster than being ignored. It breaks their illusion of control. If they hurt you expecting a breakdown or a desperate reply, silence flips the script. Now they're the ones left wondering, overthinking, spiraling. You've stolen their narrative and replaced it with your absence. It forces them to face themselves. When you're no longer reacting, they can't blame you. They can't twist the story. They're left alone with their guilt, their choices, their consequences. And for many, that's unbearable. It shows strength, not weakness. People think the loudest one wins. But silence says, I don't need to fight for closure. I am my own peace. And that is terrifying to someone who expected you to break. Here's the truth. The best revenge isn't proving them wrong. It's showing them they never had the power to define you in the first place. By saying nothing, you say everything. That you're done. That they no longer exist in your emotional world. That they lost access to your energy, your heart, your presence. And that truth, spoken in silence, will echo in their mind far longer than any words ever could. So don't clap back. Don't argue. Don't explain. Just leave and let the silence haunt them. Let them wonder. Let them sit in the silence they created. Let them scroll through old messages looking for a sign you still care. But give them nothing. Because your peace is too expensive to be spent on people who treated you like you were disposable. You see, true strength isn't about showing you're unbothered. It's about being unbothered. No emotional outburst. No dramatic goodbye. Just a quiet exit and a life that keeps moving forward without them. That's what real power looks like. They expected you to break. You healed. They expected you to beg. You let go. They thought you'd fight for their attention. You gave them silence. And now, they're left with a version of you that exists only in memory. Untouchable, unbothered, unreachable. You didn't lose them. They lost you because the moment you decided to go silent, you stopped speaking their language of chaos and started speaking the language of self-respect. So if you're still holding on, let go, not with bitterness, not with hatred, but with quiet dignity. Walk away not to hurt them, but to heal yourself. Because silence is a revenge for the sake of pain. It's revenge for the sake of power. And when they finally realize what they lost, your silence will be the only voice they hear. If this message hit home, don't just drop a comment. Tell me, have you ever used silence as your revenge? And if you're ready to reclaim your power, watch my next video. You never chase. Here's why real ones walk away. Stay silent. Stay strong. I'll see you there.